released our results to the market for the full year of 2014, and I think what we did also is we shared our strategy and just where we are against our strategic agenda. And really, in summary, I think we're making good progress against the commitments we made. And there were 2 or 3 areas that we highlighted to the market where we'd made commitments. One was we said we were going to grow our existing business more strongly, and that's the retail business as well as the corporate and investment banking business and the markets business. The second was we were going to launch new revenue streams, and those revenue streams were to start an investment banking business, to get into bancassurance, where we in the last few weeks actually got our license to sell insurance products. We said we would launch a risk management product business within the market space. We've done that. We've also got a stock brokerage license in the last couple of weeks. And I guess also we're going to grow very strongly a core pillar, which is the business banking part of the business. So we've launched those. We've invested in technology to give us the platforms for future growth. We've invested in our people through the various initiatives we've talked about in various forums.
I think what is very important is when we look and reflect this on the side of, on the side of profit and loss, you'll see that interest income on loans alone has actually gone up by about 13%, which is very good. We've never done that before, doing a 13% growth on the lending side. I think if I look at, our net interest, margin, it has been affected by the cost of funds, which grew significantly by about 37%. So that has effectively reduced our net interest, growth year on year to only 4%, despite a 13% growth on interest on loans. I think the biggest challenge, which I would like to share with our colleagues, is actually on the non-funded income. Year on year, that has come down by about 4%. So that, if you look at it in totality, our total income has only grown by about 1%. I think lots of effort we are putting towards growing the non-funded income, which is what Jeremy has basically, been able to allude to. On the side of cost, we've done extremely well. I think beaten the whole of the market. We've actually seen our costs coming down by 6%. Now, it's not been a cost, reduction strategy. Mm-hmm. It's more of an efficiency strategy, because if you look at the investments we've discussed, Jeremy has covered that, refurbishment of branches, investment in intelligent ATMs, investment in, different systems, especially on the side of corporate, host-to-host, iTax. And more important really is in terms of supporting the business. If you look at our marketing spend year on year, we've been able to grow that by about 30%. So all of this is happening. We are removing, bad cost and putting it into good use. I think when I look at 2015, number one comes, you look at on the side of deposits. That's what I would sum up as, one of the biggest impact in our performance for 2014. Our cost of funds are basically picked up by about 37%. So in terms of focus in 2015, we need to really try and grow, the CASA kind of, deposits, current accounts, the savings account. At the moment, it's good. That split is about 77% of total deposit, but we need to grow the quantum of that category of deposits. The second area, which is what I've mentioned, is the non-funded income. We need to increase, the number of customers that we serve in the bank. We need to increase the volume of transactions through cross-selling. I think in the past we used to have issues to do with, the proposition that we're giving our customers. Right now we can be able to do quite a lot. We've launched, centers of excellence in mortgage, asset financing. We've invested in the systems, so we can be able to have that ecosystem that supports a customer. And then the last one really is in terms of the diversification of our loan book. If I tie to what I mentioned in terms of the repayments that happen towards the end of the year, it's purely coming from, the big multinationals. We really need to diversify that, both on the side of corporate and on the retail. On the corporate, we need to focus not just on multinationals, but also on large local corporates, look at GDOs, look at public sector. That will help us to reduce the volatility on that side. On the side of retail, we really need to also think about other products, not just scheme, and even on scheme, not just on Teacher Service Commission. We should be able to bring more scheme companies, but then also look at the other products that we have. Barclay Loan is one of them. Card is another one. Premier and Prestige lending. And then the new centers of excellence that we've already introduced in terms of asset financing and, of course, mortgage.
I think Magic 15 was obviously directional, where we wanted to achieve roughly 15% growth in assets, 15% growth in liabilities, and then see 15% growth in PBT, profit before tax, as well as in income, and then ultimately try to hit a 15 billion number. I think where we have fallen short against some of those targets, and I think the more important component is that we need to see at least a 15% growth in assets, but our liabilities fell short at 9%. Our income is where we have a problem. Our income grew at 1%, yeah, and frankly that's disappointing. Yeah, we have made I think strong progress on executing the agenda. We made a case to the group to allow us to invest, and we've talked about the things we've invested in. Now what we need to do is accelerate that investment into a return. There are a few key things if we're going to have any chance to do it. Yeah, the first is we have to grow. It's all about growth. It's all about now delivering on what we asked for. In the first 2 years of me being here in the bank, we were saying we didn't have products, we didn't have a stable system, we didn't have internet banking that worked, we didn't have certain mobile banking. I think we've now shown, we've now launched those things. We've by and large addressed some of those gaps. Now we have to go out and sell. So we have to get more new to bank customers, and that's why you'll find a strong focus on that. We've also got a whole subset of customers who are not really using Barclays as their core bank. We need to make sure that we drive those customers to activate their accounts with us and to actually get more business. And we can all play a part in that. We need to tell the story of Barclays, that we are a bank that is changing, we're a bank that's relevant, we're a bank that's innovative, and that you should try banking with us. And then lastly, we've got to really deliver these new business streams. We've got bank assurance, we have the license. Now we have the license, we need to get out on the road and start driving and delivering. Investment banking, we need to deliver those revenues. Fixed income trading on the market side, we need to deliver. So we really now, it's sell, sell, sell. We have to turn this into revenues. And if we look at our run rate for January and February, it's not where we would like it to be. We need to step up our game. We need to run faster if we're going to have any chance of achieving 15 in 2015. So I'm rallying everybody really to think, what can I do to sell this bank? We have a great bank, we have a great brand. Now we really need to turn that into new customers and into new business. Yeah, we've spent a lot of time as businesses, as CMC and Manco teams within the respective businesses, aligning our objectives and our targets to what we need to do to STP. It might sound obvious, but sometimes those targets may not necessarily have been fully aligned in the past. So one of the things we're doing is we want to make sure business units don't operate in silos. So how does corporate banking support retail banking when they go and talk to their clients? Yeah. How does retail banking support business bank, as we move forward? And one of the major changes we are making this year is that we're getting the retail banking network, all our branches, to actually actively sell and get rewarded for selling business bank as well as retail bank. In the past, they were only rewarded for retail bank. And we found it was inefficient to try and build a second stream of business bank resources to sell business bank. So now branches have both a business bank target and a retail bank target, and that will obviously flow through. So what we can expect is those targets to be aligned to our strategic ambitions, and we'll have very clear scorecards around the things we're measuring. So we're measuring new to bank, we're measuring customer reactivation, we're measuring service through Net Promoter Score, through external research to tell us how we're doing. And the people who are able to deliver against that balanced scorecard will get very well rewarded when it comes to things like bonus, when it comes to things like career progression and opportunities. Because we are a meritocracy. We want to see those who are talented and delivering will definitely see their careers and the benefits flowing through to them and their families.
In the past, there was so many excuses coming from the network. We don't have this, we don't have that, issues to do with systems, issues to do with our processes, etc., including even resources. I think what the leadership has been able to do very well, unlike in the past, is to make sure that the processes are aligned. That, distribution, the retail distribution network is now being used not just by retail, but even business banking, and the staff will get recognized for that. So I think right now we should stop thinking of what we don't have and start selling.
I think if you want to get results, you need to do the basics very well. Yusuf has just said it. We have a pathological condition which says we focus on what we don't have rather than what we have. If you talk to the competitors, they will tell you Barclays has 120 branches, they have all these great ATMs, they've now got cash deposit ATMs, they've got cash send. Instead, we sometimes focus on all the things we don't have. So I think firstly, we need to just pinch ourselves every time when we say what we don't have to focus on what we have, because you can only use what you have. Innovation continues to remain a focus, and we have very exciting plans around launching a prepaid card. We're looking at agency banking, which hopefully will be launched later in the year. Those have a lot of support, and they will come and they will make a difference. But whilst we wait for those things to come, let us sell what we have. We are already innovative. We are the first bank to do cash send. We are the first bank right now to do Zidisha. That has come with an award of the best product in the world through the Asian Banker. So let's be positive about what we have. Yeah, I think as we go forward, once we look at this, we might need to do more work on bundling, but let's not focus on just initiatives to launch new products. Those new products have to deliver value, and I think we've launched a lot of new products. We've fixed a lot of things. Now we have to sell. And what I would say to people, and I think is unfortunately the nature of the world, the results are what get recognized, not effort. Yeah, you can have literally, if we look at the soccer analogy, you can have possession 90% of the match, but guess what? If the other bank gets possession that 10% and they put in 2 or 3 goals, you don't remember about the 90% possession. You don't remember about who ran hard on the field. You remember about who scored the goals and who actually won. We need to keep that in our mind, that we have to score goals. This year, we have to deliver revenue growth. We cannot cut costs and deliver Magic 15 or 15 and 15. It's not going to be possible. That's why you will find a lot of our attention is focused around revenue growth, is focused around sales, is focused around everybody from HR to COO, focusing on supporting sales. Yeah, we are going to be focused. We are not going to do things that are not going to move the dial of revenue up. I think to be honest, as a challenge of an organization, we have to ask ourselves, what are we going to say no to doing to allow us to focus on the things which will allow us to grow our revenues further. And I think if we do that with discipline and we execute with discipline, we have no doubt we will hit and exceed our targets for this year.